Okay, so let's move on from one case to another, and let's get into this Blake Lively story. So now this thing still continues. Child, I'm exhausted talking about it. So now her latest lawsuit, she's claiming that Justin Baldoni's smear campaign against her is affecting the sales of her brand deals. Now, the funny part was, I didn't even know Blake Lively was out here doing brands, but I guess when you're not acting as much, you got to come out with some sort of way to make a coin. So the actress, who's 37, sued her It Ends With Us co-star and director, who's 40, last month, alleging harassment and fostering a toxic work environment on the set. He has staunchly denied the allegations. Now, in the first complaint, she also claimed Baldoni worked to tarnish her reputation with the team, including his publicist, Jennifer Abel, and Crisis PR, Melissa Nathan, who previously worked with Johnny Depp. Abel has denied waging a smear campaign. Now, Lively then launched more formal complaint on New Year's Eve, doubling down on her accusations. She filed her first complaint with the California Civil Rights Commission, but is now suing Baldoni in federal court in New York. And in the latest lawsuit, and it's like, child, it's so many damn lawsuits, it is hard to keep up. But thank y'all media for keeping it, all the stuff in organization. So and in the latest lawsuit, she has claimed that the campaign to destroy her reputation has caused her to suffer financial harms, which continues to the present. And you don't think Justin is suffering as well, but you know what? Some people feel like in this whole situation, the way I've been breaking it down, I feel like they're both in the wrong. I think that, Blake has a nasty reputation of being a deplorable human being behind the scenes. We've seen how she treats certain media people. When someone gave her a compliment about her baby bump, she was real nasty and snarky with the reporter and basically just turned to the actress that was sitting beside her and pretty much ignored the reporter that was doing her job. And like don't get me wrong, like there's situations when it comes into this industry where I do feel like it is a bit gender biased when it's like you ask the guys the smart questions, but then when it comes to women, you only want to ask about beauty and all the vapid stuff. And some of the women are like, well, why don't you ask me about? I'm gonna just make a joke like quantum physics. I could speak on that, but it's just something smart. Just ask them something smart or whatever. You get some people that are like that, where they feel like, okay, let me I don't want to just be asked about, well, how do you look so youthful? Or why does your hair look the way that, like, they don't want those stupid, vapid questions, but those are the ones that get asked. So, she has a hair care brand apparently called Blake Brown, and she has two drink beverages, Betty Buzz and Betty Booze. Do the people at Betty Boop need to sue you? Because that's what they sound like. Betty Buzz and Betty Booze both suffered huge losses in sales due to the backlash she received. First of all, I've never heard of these drinks until today. Well, until I, heard about the article, I should say. Now, the lawsuit states that Blake Brown sales plummeted by up to 78% after the social manipulation campaign started. She said, based on internal sales predictions, the sudden and unexpected negative media campaign launched against Ms. Lively depressed retail sales of Blake Brown products by 56 to 78%. The lawsuit added this dramatic drop was completely at odds with the high satisfaction scores that Blake Brown products received in the significant consumer testing performed before launch of its initial success after launch. While it also stated around the same time the social media accounts of Ms. Lively's brands, including Betty Buzz and Betty Booze, were flooded with hateful comments, which began to echo through other social and traditional media outlets. And what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to show receipts based on the sales before the lawsuit and then sales after to prove that, okay, so there was a disruption in the force in regards of her sales. But also, I will say this: there have been people in my comments as well, even when I've done like my YouTube clips of some of the topics. I've had people in my comments who are more Team Justin than they are Team Blake. There are people that do not believe that Blake Lively is innocent in this whole situation. And it could be because a lot of her behavior in the past is coming back to haunt her. But just because you've had a bad reputation of being a nightmare on set with people in the past doesn't necessarily mean that you should be exempt from, okay, so this one time that you was on set and people were treating you a certain way, that should be allowed. But then again, you, ma'am, should not be treating people the way you be treating people either on set. So it goes both ways. So I don't know. I just feel like at the end of the day, it's probably going to become a situation where it's a no-win situation. Like you're both wrong in a lot of the ways that you have handled this whole situation with this movie. And then also, they're trying to say that, you know what, Justin may have a little ace up in his sleeve because apparently Ryan Reynolds may have done a little joke in Deadpool and Wolverine where Nice Pool has this man bun type of look to him. And he was probably, they believe, was mocking Justin Baldoni as, under the guise of Nice Pool. So that's kind of the rumor where a lot of the internet sleuths are pulling at this situation. I don't know. It could be a reach. I haven't really done enough deep research to deep dive deep into that to know it. Look, I only saw Deadpool and Wolverine once. I thought it was cute. It would, besides the action or whatever, the jokes don't always land for me. But it's not like Devil and Wolverine is not a movie that I'm just going to sit and watch 800,000 times and just be like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing in cinema. So for me to sit and like nitpick and try to look for any little minute detail or whatever, just so that way it's like, okay, there's a valid argument in that. I haven't done the research, but that is the latest thing that's going around now, where people feel that um Ryan Reynolds may have partaken in kind of co-signing on being shady and bullying Justin Baldoni on behalf of his wife. So that is the latest on this story. I think it was more that they were talking about, but child, this article was like this is literally like, let me see how long this is, because usually my website tells me this is an 8-minute read, child. So I'm not gonna sit up here and give you all the whole thing, but that's the latest on what's going on with her.